Up with KREM begins now.
Hi friends, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham. We also want to welcome you in if you're streaming us on KREM 2 Plus this morning. Well, today we are under a weather impact alert because of the windy conditions we are expecting. So meteorologist Thomas Patrick warned us about this. So Thomas, what's the latest?
Yeah, the latest is that the storm system that's still passing through the area gave us the rain yesterday, still giving us the rain today. Is just going to finish up with just a burst of some wind during the late morning and midday hours. So we have yet to reach any kind of stronger winds already this morning, but what we are currently seeing still is a bit of rainfall across the inland northwest. It was actually pretty heavy at about 3 o'clock this morning, but since then has already exited Spokane County. This is not the end of the rain that we are going to see today, but like yesterday, it will still be on and off. But as for our current conditions, we are at 44 degrees, so it's still mild, but the wind speed only 11 miles per hour at the moment. But that is going to pick up in a big way later on this morning.
Here's a live look at the traffic impact this morning in the heart of downtown Spokane. This is I-90 in Jefferson there. You can see some of those wet roads as that rain begins to move out, but again, the wind moving in this morning. Overall, though, the morning commute looking nice and smooth here at 5:02. On Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. Continuing coverage this morning in the murder trial against the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in November of 2022. New court documents show Brian Kohberger's defense will argue someone else could have planted a knife sheath with his DNA at the crime scene. Because so many documents in the case remain sealed, we are still working to find out the exact details of the defense's plans. Kohberger's trial is scheduled for August 11th and could last for more than 3 months.
You can!
New video showing an ICE arrest in Spokane Valley earlier this week is being shared across social media. It has some asking if the actions of the agents were legal. Sharon Yu with our Seattle station took that question to legal experts to find out if what the agents did was against the law.
We have reached out to all parties involved in the video and also to a law enforcement expert for analysis.
This video filmed by Kayla Somariba shows federal immigration agents, some uniformed and some in plainclothes, break the windows of their SUV.
You can!
Somariba says this happened on March 10th near this intersection in Spokane Valley as she, her husband, and her brother-in-law were on their way to a hearing for a case not related to immigration.
Maybe like 12 officers ended up, surrounding us. There was at least like 2 or 3 in every window. And I lower my window to talk to them and, asking politely, like, officers, why are you stopping us? What is the reason for this? And I'm already reading on their vest that it says ICE.
It's illegal! It's legal!
Somariba says she kept asking to see a warrant or any documentation from the agents.
Obviously, if you have a warrant for their arrest, they have to go. But didn't show us anything, no proof that there was actually anything.
We reached out to an ICE spokesperson who said, quote, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested 2 men whom we are not naming because they have not been charged with a crime, both citizens of Nicaragua and suspected members of Tren de Aragua. The aliens resisted officers during the arrest and failed to obey a lawful order to exit a vehicle, which resulted in forced entry by ICE officers. The statement continues to say one of the men has been arrested in Spokane County for felony harassment with a weapon and that he has been ordered removed from the U.S. by an immigration judge. ICE says the other man was previously arrested for burglary, malicious mischief, drive-by shooting, and threatening to kill. When asked if there were any warrants or supporting documentation, ICE did not respond. We reached out to John Urquhart, former King County Sheriff and King 5's law enforcement analyst. Urquhart says the agents did not break any laws when they broke the windows, as they had probable cause to arrest the 2 men. We reached out to an immigration attorney and professor at Seattle U who said, quote, ICE officers can arrest someone in public spaces without an ICE warrant if they have probable cause that the person is deportable. ICE claims they did have that probable cause. We circled back to Somariba, who is a U.S. citizen and 7 months pregnant. She vehemently denies her husband and her brother-in-law's affiliation with any gangs.
I'm 100% sure that they are not part, of a gang. My husband would wake up, go to work, come back. Yeah, sometimes he would, hang out with his friends. It's a normal thing that a 25-year-old's gonna do, a 26-year-old.
Somariba is a U.S. citizen, and she says she was not arrested or pulled out of the vehicle. We know the two men have been taken to the ICE processing facility in Tacoma. The Northwest Immigrant Rights Project says they are doing an assessment to find out what happens next for the two men detained there. In Seattle, Sharon Yu, KREM 2 News.
This morning, more job cuts have been announced for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The agency announcing it's eliminating 1,000 jobs. The terminations come weeks after more than 880 recently hired or probationary workers were fired. Many are warning that slashing its workforce could compromise the quality and accuracy of extreme weather forecasts, such as wildfires and hurricanes. This comes as Eastern Washington Representative Michael Baumgartner is co-sponsoring a new bipartisan bill that would protect federal workers on probation. The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has made sweeping cuts to downsize the federal workforce. Now, weeks after many employees were fired, some agencies are starting to reinstate probationary workers, saying they were mistakenly let go. This bill seeks to ensure that their probationary periods do not start over. Happening today, the City of Spokane Parks and Recreation Board is set to approve the new naming rights to the Spokane Pavilion. KREM 2's Regan Gallo read through documents for us. So, Regan, we know that the pavilion is a staple to the City of Spokane. What's expected to happen tonight?
Good morning, Tim. Well, as of right now, that potential new name for the Spokane Riverfront Park Pavilion is still being kept as confidential until the park board approves after the final agreement of the name. But this title sponsor is supposed to bring in $190,000 annually to the city. In total, that title sponsor is set to provide the city with over $2.6 million over an initial 10-year agreement with a potential extension of an additional 5 years. Those funds will provide free educational events, entertainment, and cultural programs, as well as care for the 64 acres of the open park space down at Riverfront Park, which sees about 1 million annual visitors. Another portion of those funds, $50,000 annually, will also go towards free and low-cost events that the community can also enjoy. In exchange, the title sponsor will receive those naming rights and marketing presence, from signage to social media recognition all across the city. For some background, in February of 2024, the city partnered with a sponsorship agency, the Superlative Group, to help secure naming rights with that confidential sponsor. This approval and agreement from the park board is set to receive a motion today. That meeting begins at 3:30 p.m. in the City of Spokane Council chambers. Upon agreement, the new name should be revealed. Reporting in the newsroom, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
It's 5:09. Another look at our weather forecast for today. We have a weather impact alert day due to some stronger winds that are going to be, increasing later on for this morning. Wind gusts expected up to 40 miles per hour. Not strong enough to do any damage. And honestly, the last time that we had a strong wind event, we had wind gusts in that 50 to 55 mile per hour range. And we still didn't hear much about any tree damage or power outages. So that certainly bodes well for this, which is actually going to be a little bit lesser, but it's still going to be inconvenient and certainly quite an annoyance when we get these stronger winds in just a few hours. The storm system's basically right on top of us here, so we will still get a few scattered showers through the day today, but the winds will get a bit stronger late morning and early afternoon.